Hi Aries, welcome to August. This is Teresa from Tarot by T. And before I start your reading, I want to call in some good energy. So this month, we've got a full moon in Aquarius on August 3rd. And that's going to be a little bit tense. It's squared by Uranus. And then we have a new moon in Leo on August what day is that? August 18th. And both of those, that's favorable to your sign. Actually, Aquarius is too. But the Leo new moon will be have a lot better energy around it than this full moon in Aquarius. And Uranus goes retrograde on the 11th of August. And I'll get into that later. But for now, let's see what the cards say. What does Aries need to know about love and relationships for the month of August? What does Aries need to know about love and relationships? And anything else important for the month of August? What does Aries need to know? The Death card, the Eight of Cups, the Knight of Wands, the Two of Pentacles, the Queen of Cups, the Three of Swords, the Seven of Wands, the Page of Pentacles, the Knight of Swords, and the Wheel of Fortune. So things are changing this month for you. Okay. So we start out with the Death card, which doesn't mean physical death, but it does mean the end of a cycle or a way of life. Something is ending. And you're leaving something behind. You have the Eight of Cups here. This is a card of walking away from something that was once good but it's no longer serving you. So it could be a relationship or just a situation even where you have to admit that something is over. Something has ended. Some cycle in your life, a part of your life is coming to an end. And you have to accept it's kind of like a death. It's a death of a way of being even. So it could even be a job situation or a lifestyle, something where you have to kind of release the past. The Death card, if you look at this card, there's a person here mourning the past and putting it to rest. So you have to release the past. It could be something that had maybe even died a long time ago. Some relationship that ended that you might still be carrying in your heart. And with the Death card, it's time to clear out the old. Put an end to that old cycle so that you could welcome the new. But you have to clear out the old first. You have to cut away what's no longer serving you. And maybe sever ties with anything that's been toxic. And with the Eight of Cups is about realizing, okay, something was once good, but it's no longer serving me. And now you may want to move on to something more meaningful. So it could be, for some of you, you could be leaving a relationship that has run its course, and you're looking for something more fulfilling. But it could also be, leaving a lifestyle behind. I feel like it could be a change of residence because you have the Knight of Wands here. This comes up when you either move, change your residence, or change jobs. So it could be either one of those things. It could be a relationship that's ending or a job situation that's coming to an end, and you're moving on. Either way, you're moving on. You have the Two of Pentacles in the recent past. That's a card of juggling, two situations. So maybe if you're in a situation where you had two relationships going on, maybe you're dating two people, you might have to leave one behind. You might decide, okay, I'm going to leave this behind and I'm going to move into this new situation. or you're having to choose between two situations. You can't do both, and you have to accept that one is over, whatever that is. It could even be, and the Two of Pentacles is like busy energy too. You're trying to keep it all together. And you may realize, like, I can't keep it all together. I can't keep doing this. I can't keep living like this. I have to give something up. It's the only way I can go forward because it's just too much. And sometimes the Two of Pentacles comes up when someone is pretending to be happy. And you're not really, it's like laughing on the outside, crying on the inside. You're not really being honest with your feelings. So you might be pretending, yeah, everything's okay, I'm great, I'm good. But something in you is not happy. Something deep inside. But I feel like that's coming to an end. You're putting something to rest in August. Coming up in the future, you have the Queen of Cups and the Three of Swords. The Queen of Cups can be someone who has a healing influence on you, someone who's very intuitive, very psychic, creative. Could be a water sign, someone who's very compassionate and nurturing. And there's the Three of Swords here. So I don't know if there has been... sometimes when the Three of Swords comes up, there's heartache involved in a relationship. So either you're addressing a heartache or apologizing for a hurt. Or you could just be cutting something out of your life that has not served you. Sometimes the Three of Swords can mean minor surgery. That's not for everyone, but for some people it could be that something needs to be cut out, cut away. It's not a major thing. It's not, something to be worried about. It's just like a minor procedure. But a lot of times when the Three of Swords comes up, it could be the end of a relationship, or there's heartache in a relationship where you're deciding you have to let something go. You have to cut something out of your life. Because it's either not healthy, it's not promoting your health, or it's just run its course, and you have to release that sorrow. You have to release, admit that this is over, so that you can move on. Because you keep holding on to the past, you're stopping yourself from filling that void. You have the Seven of Wands here. The Seven of Wands is about standing your ground. But it's in your negative thinking sector. So you are actually in a stronger position than you realize. And you might have to set some boundaries in a relationship. But because it's in your negative thinking sector, you may not realize how much strength you have or how much clout you have. Like you're in a position of power, but you may not be aware of it. So if there's a situation where there's competition, like if you're dating someone or you're involved with someone and there's like a third party, you have the upper hand. You are the favored person. And it could be that in a relationship, you might have to set some boundaries. You might have to cut some things out. Or there might be some, there could be some, like a breakup in a sense, where even if you come back together, there are certain conditions around the reunion. Or you might be thinking, I have to leave the situation because it's not serving me. And I have to stand up for what I believe in. I have to stand up for my rights. So if someone has been taking advantage of your kindness, or there's a situation that's not serving you or not fair to you, you have to stand up and, set some boundaries and put your foot down in a relationship. You have the Page of Pentacles in your environment. So there's like a lot of, you could be dealing with any sign. We've got all the signs here. Wands, Pentacles, Cups, Swords. But this could sometimes mean a new situation. For some of you, it could be a new relationship, maybe, or a new beginning with someone who could be an earth sign. Maybe you're leaving water behind, a water sign, and you're moving toward an earth sign. This can also represent the feelings of your person. So this is someone who's open to the new, or willing to learn, or willing to. So if it's a current relationship, you could have some kind of new beginning, like a renaissance. If it's a new relationship, it's at the beginning stages. The Page of Pentacles is the student card, so you could be learning new skills, or you could be willing to learn new things or willing to try something new. It's being open. Now, usually the card in this position, it's your environment, but it's also the person you're involved with. So if you're involved with someone, they're open. You know, they're willing to try something. It's like, okay, let's see how this goes. Let's see how it works. They're willing to learn new things, willing to try new things. The Knight of Swords is in your wish fulfillment sector. So this energy, the Swords energy, is something that's like hasty movement. So if you're changing jobs or changing relationships or changing your residence, it's quick. It's something that happens quickly. So you could have to, like you're making quick decisions and you're just jumping from one thing to the next. Because this is like kind of impetuous energy. Like, I can't wait to get started. I got to get out of here. I got to move. I got to do something. The only thing, and you're moving quickly toward a goal or a dream, especially with the Wheel of Fortune here. It may come out of the blue. Like all of a sudden, everything changes. And you have to make a quick decision. You have to take quick action. The only thing that the Knight of Swords cautions is to look before you leap, because Aries has a tendency to leap first and then look later, because you're very impatient, because you have so much courage and you want to, you don't have, it's like, I want to get the show on the road. I want to get going. Let's go. And sometimes you don't want to wait. You don't want to really think things over. Whereas like another sign would be procrastinating. Aries does not procrastinate. Once you make a decision, you're on it. It's like, let's go. Let's get it done. But sometimes this card is warning you, before you leap, look and check everything out first, because you could wind up somewhere that you may regret if you're not careful. If you just jump into something and you're not thinking too far into the future. But definitely things are changing, and I feel like you're leaving something behind and moving on. And usually the Eight of Cups, though, the moving on energy, is you're moving on to something better. You're moving on to something more fulfilling. But there's still some sorrow connected with the ending. Whatever is ending, there's a sense of loss. There's a sense of heartache around what you're leaving behind. So it's not like, an easy break. It's something where you just have to accept, look, I'm done. I can't take this situation any further. I have to make a change. I have to move on. But your luck is changing. So you're moving out of this heartache situation. And you're moving into a whole new, like the Wheel of Fortune, the wheel is turning. So, and you could be anxiously anticipating, or in a good way, like, hey, what's next? You might be thinking, okay, this is over. I'm going to put it to bed. I'm going to put it to rest. What's next? You could be asking yourself in August. So let's see what the astrology has to say. So usually when there's a full moon, it means the end of a cycle. Something is coming to completion. Something is ending. And for you, this full moon is happening in your 11th house, which is the house of friendship, groups you belong to. It's like something, either you're completing a goal or a dream, because the sun is in the 5th house in Leo, and the moon is in Aquarius in your 11th house. So you could be cementing a friendship or a romance, or you could be ending something that has to do with a friend. A friendship could be ending. There could be some conflict around money or security, survival, because you have Uranus in the 2nd house in Taurus. That's T-squaring this full moon. So while something is coming to completion, something is ending, Uranus, there's like some unexpected thing happens where you have, it's affecting your financial situation. It's affecting your sense of security. So you may have to take action, especially because you have Mars, your ruling planet, is in Aries. It's strong in Aries, the warrior, and it's in your 1st house. So you're feeling more energetic, like I can do anything. You're feeling that charge of Mars. So you're ready to take action. Actually, the moon, even though it's squaring Uranus, which can sometimes bring sudden events, sudden upsets, especially around finances and around your survival instincts, your self-esteem, because the second house is, what do I value? It's like you're just making a quick move because of some unexpected thing that happens around this full moon. But the moon is sextile Mars, and the sun is trine Mars in your first house. So there's like, it's a mixed blessing. So even though something surprising may pop up, the action that you take is going to lead to a good result, because Mars is giving you the courage and the energy to take action. And it's a positive aspect. You know, the trine is a good aspect, the sextile is a good aspect. So there could be some positive developments if you take action, if you act in a more, show your warrior side, push your agenda, and you can get what you want. You have Mercury now at the same time that this full moon is happening. There are going to be surprises, because with Uranus, you just never know what's going to happen. Uranus is a planet of surprise. But you might land in a good place. Mercury is in the 4th house. That's the house, that's the communication planet. And it's in your 4th house of home and family. And it's opposing Saturn in the 10th. So you may have to do a lot of quick talking. Like Saturn, and Mercury's in Cancer. So Mercury in Cancer is very nurturing. So you may be doing a lot of communicating around this full moon. Telling people how much you care about them. Telling people that, making them feel supported and loved. But you may come across some resistance with authority figures, because Saturn is authority, and it's in the 10th house of your chart, which is it's home, so it's strong. Saturn is very strong in Capricorn. That's its home. And plus it's in the 10th house, which is what Saturn rules, the 10th house. Capricorn rules the 10th house. And it's also there with Jupiter and Pluto. So a lot of changes are going on in your life direction, in your status in the world. You may have some disagreements between in a home environment. There might be some communication. Maybe you're afraid to speak up, or you're having, you're wanting to do things one way, and the people in charge want to do things a different way. And there could be a power struggle when it comes to communication that has to do with your security, your home, where am I going to be living? So maybe you're arguing with a landlord, or you're arguing with people at work. There could be a work issue coming up, and that's interfering with things going on around the home. Venus is in the 3rd house in Gemini. So you're getting along. When Venus is in Gemini, when Venus is in a house, it brings harmony and peace to that house. So the 3rd house is the house of communication, but it's also the house of siblings, brothers, sisters, neighbors. So you might be finding more harmony with the people that are close to you. There might be a lot more communication going on. Maybe you've lost track of some relatives or siblings, and now you're communicating more and you're getting along better. Venus is also conjunct the North Node. So you might feel like there are fated things happening around siblings or relatives or neighbors or even close friends. Now it's not really square, it's past the square to Neptune. So let's see what else is going on here. Now Mars, even though it's trining the moon and the sun, it's squaring Jupiter and it's squaring Pluto. Or it's moving toward a square. It's squaring Jupiter exactly, and it's moving toward the square to Pluto, which it'll happen down the road, later in the month. So Mars squared Jupiter, it's warning you that you may want to go over the top in your behavior, or you may have plans that are bigger than life with Jupiter. So you want to tone down your expectations, because things may not work out exactly like you want them. There might be some limitations still in this new situation. So don't over idealize something. Jupiter's giving you luck and opportunity, but you're going to have to put some effort in also. It's not going to be an easy transition when there's a square. So you might have to fight for certain things. It might not be an easy win in the warrior, in the fight. But I think you still have to you have a chance of winning because you have Mars. You have the power with Mars in Aries, and it's in your first house. So you're going to just keep at it. You're going to win. You're not going to, you're going to push your agenda forward at this full moon. And you have a good chance of winning, but it's not going to be an easy win. You're going to have to do something. You're going to have to communicate in a tender way, like use more, gentler words. Don't come on too strong. Don't have, come on with fighting words. And you can probably win out. Then at the new moon, now Uranus will go retrograde. It's been in Taurus, and let's see, where is it? It's in your second house. So it's going to retrograde for the next, from August 11th until maybe, I think it's January when it goes direct. So there could be some setbacks to your financial situation or your security, like you're having to rethink money and security. Like, where do I go from here? So there's like a pause. When planet goes retrograde, it causes us to go inward. It causes us to think, to take a time out. So when it's going forward, the energy is forward and you're like pushing your agenda forward. When it goes retrograde, it's time to take a break and think, okay, so where am I? What am I doing with my finances? What am I doing with my, where do I feel more secure? What do I need to work on? What new, because Uranus in the second house can mean fluctuations in money. Money comes in, money goes out. It's like kind of an unstable energy, but it could bring money suddenly and it could take it away suddenly. So you never know with Uranus what to expect. But maybe you need freedom around money, more financial freedom, or maybe wherever you were living had become too restrictive. You need some kind of change. So over the next 6 months, things are going to change around those issues, around money and security. Now, the new moon in Leo is coming on August 18th, and that's going to be great. It's going to be in your 5th house. That's the house of romance, children, fun, creativity. So you could have a renaissance of creativity, or a chance. It could be a new romance, or it could be a new way, like you're suddenly feeling more creative. So that's positive, and it's trining Mars in Aries in your 1st house. The only issue is you have Saturn in the 10th house, so that's an inconjunct aspect, and it's an exact inconjunct aspect. So you might have some issues with authority figures that are interfering with this new beginning. Like you may want to do certain things, and you're looking forward to that, but you may have to follow some rules and regulations that you may not like. There might be some limitations or boundaries around what you want to do. So just be prepared. You don't have carte blanche with this new moon, but it's still a good new moon. And Aries, I know Aries doesn't like to be told what to do or how to do it. So you may have, but you're going to have to, come up. You're going to come up against some kind of boundary or some kind of obstacle, or somebody else's rules and regulations. Could be government or just legal things. Whatever it is, it's an authority that's laying down the law. That's saying, okay, you can have this, but it's got to be this way. So just be prepared for that. Mars is sextile the North Node. So you are kind of moving on a karmic path. I think you're going to be communicating a lot more in August. You're going to learn how to communicate. You're going to be reaching out to people, relatives, more than you have in the past. And Venus is in your 4th house. So your home life is going to be very harmonious after this new moon. You're going to find, if you're moving, you're going to find the perfect, beautiful location, peaceful environment. And it is sextile Uranus in your 2nd house. So some surprising development could come up that puts you in a good place. That you wind up. So don't worry about these changes, because you might wind up in a good place, but you may have to follow some rules. That's all. And Jupiter in the 10th is bringing luck and opportunity. Conjunct Pluto. Pluto and Jupiter together is the wealth aspect. So you might be dealing with people that have financial resources that can help you. The only thing is Mars is squaring Saturn. So when Mars squares Saturn, there could be some power struggles or some disagreements. Like you might want to do things one way, and the people in charge have other ideas, and there could be some kind of conflict. You're going to have to compromise. So you're not going to get everything you want at this new moon, but you have a lot of good energy. If you could work within the restraints, if you could work within the boundaries and the limitations, you can accomplish a lot. Especially with this Venus sextile Uranus. That could bring unexpected love. It could bring unexpected creativity, creative ideas. You might be feeling more creative, especially in your 5th house with this new moon, where you want to play music, or you want to do art, or you want to do something that expresses who you are. You're going to be feeling. I think you're going to be feeling a lot better by this new moon. But like I said, you're still going to have to deal with certain limitations around this new beginning. It's not going to be. You might have to, follow someone else's rules in addition to get what you want. So August looks a little rough at the full moon if you're ending a relationship or you're going through some changes. But I think the new moon by the end of the month is going to put you in a better place, and you're going to be a lot happier and feel more positive about the direction your life is going in August. So Aries, I hope you enjoyed this reading. And if you'd like a private reading, click on the link in the description box. If you like this video and you want to help, click on the like button, click on the subscribe button. That helps the channel get more exposure. And leave a comment if you liked it. I love to read feedback. And I want to thank everyone who has been supporting this channel with likes and comments and purchasing readings and all that. Thank you for your support. If you'd like a private reading where we deal with your issues and yours alone, and we narrow it down, click on the link in the description box. It'll take you to my website, and we can get you on the schedule. In the meantime, Aries, enjoy August, and I will talk to you again next month. Okay, bye now.